Today we're making biltong, a South African snack which is made from air-dried beef using a few spices and mostly salt. So to get started, we'll need to toast off some coriander. There's also going to be salt and some pepper as well, which is in the mix. But let's get started with that first. So in a heated pan, not too hot, you add your coriander seeds. Let's just toast them off to get them with a more rounded flavour. You can smell the wonderful aroma coming off. Biltong dates back probably more than 1,000 years when people wanted to save meat after they were hunting. It was impossible to eat the whole animal at once. So what they basically did was salt cured the meat, which is the most important ingredient, and that basically kept it for much longer so that it could be enjoyed at a later time. And it's just evolved in this, people add other spices in now. You can add chili, you can add a whole range of different flavors really, but this is the basic standard one that biltong is known for. Right, so I think that's done. I'm just gonna put this in a pestle and mortar. It'll probably be easier to do this in one of those spice blenders that you get as well. It'll be a lot quicker, but if you do have some time, this works just as well. I'll put all the measurements in the description for this as well. Just one thing too, you can also buy ready-made spice mixes as well online. There's many available, so that's also an option too, to make it easier. And then it's just normally 45 grams per kilogram of meat. Yeah, this is basically worked out for that, but I'll put both options in the description as well, so you can always decide what you want to do with that. Then to start with the meat, we have these are those roasting joints which you can get from a butcher or a supermarket. You can also use topside or silver side, which is basically the same thing. You wouldn't use a steak cut at all. Again, too, this one's slightly more fatty than this one, so this will be for your leaner meat and this will be for your fatty pieces. Some people prefer only lean biltong. And basically this is just sliced up into probably 20 millimeter thick slices. This will shrink to half what it is once it's dried. It takes about 5 days to cure, and yeah, this will be basically half the weight that it is now. So whatever you want for biltong, make sure you get enough, because half of this is what you'll get. That's how much it shrinks when after it's dried. Alright, so we just need to, these are fairly squared off, so it's just a matter of cutting these into thicker pieces. Again too, you want to try and get these all equally the same thickness, because then they dry at the same rate. If you have different thickness pieces in your drying cupboard or wherever you hang them up to dry, they'll just, they won't be ready at the same time, so it just makes it easier if you can hang them and take them down all at the same time. Just make sure you've got a sharp knife for this. Alright, so here we have our sliced meat, and next will be just to put the spice mix on. But first we're just going to spritz it with some vinegar and Worcester sauce. All that really does, I think, is just it's sort of a mold inhibitor. So when it's drying, especially in humid climates, it just prevents a bit of mold from forming. You do need to hang this in a well ventilated place or a special box, which has got a fan and a heater element in it. But I'll show you that once this is done. I normally just use a container like this. It makes it a bit easier. So just start laying the biltong in there. And this mixture, it's got Worcester sauce and brown vinegar in it. You can use just brown vinegar, but you really don't need a lot. Some people drown it in the mix. You don't need to. It's just a light coating, really. So yeah, just to give this a bit of a mix around and get it all coated nicely in the vinegar and Worcester sauce mix. Right, and that's ready for the spice mix. So what I'm going to do is just take this back out again. I've got some ready mixed spice here, which is all the salt, pepper and coriander combined. You can also add in a bit of a stock cube to the OXO stock cubes if you like. So right, let's just build this up. We're going to mix this around towards the end too, so that we get it on all the pieces of biltong. Beef, should I say, it's not biltong yet. And yeah, you want to get it evenly coated so that you get it on all the pieces all over the place, so that the flavour gets into all the meat. Right, so then what I do is I just mix it all around. See, it's coating it all the way around on all 6 sides if you like. Great, so that's nicely coated. The next step is to just prepare it to put it in the fridge, because you need to really just leave it overnight, maybe 12 to 24 hours, and then the next morning you can hang it up to dry, which we'll do once this has been refrigerated overnight. So what I'd like to do as well is also put the hooks on now, so that when it comes time to hang, it's just a matter of taking out of the container that you've refrigerated it in, and yeah, hang it straight into the cabinet that you're using. So there we go. You don't have to put the hooks on now, of course, you can always do this afterwards. I just find it easier to do it now so that it's done. The spice mix smells really good. You can smell the coriander and also the salt and pepper. Alright, so that's almost done, the last piece. That's ready to go into the fridge, so I'm just going to cover that with some cling film. Again, you can put this into any container really, as long as you can just close it off with a lid. And that's the first step of making biltong, as easy as that. So put it in the fridge overnight, and then in the morning I'll hang it up in the cabinet. Alright, so our biltong has been in the fridge overnight, and it's ready to hang. This is the biltong box, or air drying box that I've made. It has a fan on the top and a source of heat at the bottom, which is a infrared heat lamp, and that's just to burn some humidity. And the fan, obviously, it has a gentle sort of breeze over the meat to dry. Too much air will dry the meat out too much, and again, too much humidity is also a problem, because mold will start forming. You want humidity to be about 50% roughly in your temperature, air temperature about 20 degrees roughly. So yeah, let's get some meat hung. Just position the biltong so that it doesn't touch each other. It needs airflow all around it. If it does touch, you may get some mold forming, which you don't want. Now this cupboard will take a lot more than I've made here. You probably could put about 3 times as much meat in here without it touching. And yeah, just allows a gentle airflow over the meat, so that it dries. Too much air it makes it dry too quickly, which you don't want, because it dries out hard on the outside and then the inside stays too wet. So it needs to be a gentle, consistent airflow. And then at the bottom you can see your heat source there, which is the infrared lamp, and that just helps burn some humidity so that it doesn't stay so humid, and then the airflow obviously helps dry the meat. And that's basically how it works. And here's just a small gauge on here with your humidity and your temperature. At the moment it's 51% humidity and 19 degrees Celsius. And that's it for the next probably 5 to 6 days. We'll close it up, switch it on, and come back and see how it turned out. So day 6 has finally come. The biltong is pretty much dry. Some of the thicker pieces might be slightly moist inside, but some people prefer it like that. We're just going to slice some of it up, which I haven't done already over here, but just to demonstrate, I do have a manual biltong slicer, which is something that you can buy online. You do get electric ones too with a motor on, so if you're doing this in a high volume, then you could use that. So yeah, you can see the size, how it's reduced since it was hung. There's quite a lot less meat, which is pretty much half what it used to be. Alright, so we'll take a slice. It's got a sharp blade on it, and you just basically put the biltong in and start turning. You could use a knife as well, a sharp knife. This just makes it a lot easier when you've got a few pieces like this. It's a lot quicker. You can also cut it off into thicker slices. This can be adjusted into a thicker slice as well, so probably slightly more than what I've got here, not much more if you adjust it on the back, but the thinner ones are nicer to eat. Just be careful of your fingers near the blade when you get close to it. Yeah, basically a bit of fatty bits in between, some lean bits on this one, as you can see. We definitely need to go for a taste. Always so good. And that's biltong. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. It will greatly help the channel, and we can make more content like this. Anything else you'd like to see, please put it in the comments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.